budget. Visit them at one of their 3 Central Ohio locations or online anytime at rcdrv.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Taking the art of sports radio and day drinking to a whole new level. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
I was just seeing something from Big Ten Media Days. It's a video by Big Ten Network, and one of their reporters is going up to all the players. Have you ever seen the trend on like TikTok or Instagram Reels where they say, hey, do you want this $20 or should I double it and give it to the next person or something, right? So they're doing that with push-ups, and I think it's like a very funny football mentality guy thing because every single one I've seen, I'm not watching with the audio, so I don't know exactly what's going on, but it appears that almost none of the players have doubled it and sent it to the next guy. They're all just like, I'll do the 20 push-ups or whatever. Because it's just like, they're like, that's not hard. I'll just go ahead and do it. So it didn't really work out for them. It was just a bunch of guys who, yeah, I'll do the push-ups. So good for them out there. Not good for some of these teams in the NFL right now, dealing with the holdouts. And now the new, I don't know, are we in year 3 or 4 of the idea of the hold in where you
show up.
You report to camp, you go to all the meetings, you do everything off the field, but you just don't practice as you're awaiting another deal. And probably the one that has gotten the most publicity this entire offseason as far as somebody who's asked for a contract, outside of maybe the T. Higgins one that we were talking about earlier, but 49ers wide receiver Brandon Ayuk. Yep. So what I want to do with all these names here is look through them, look at the situations, decide what of these 4 options they're most likely to get. So there's either a new contract, but they don't miss any games, so it's done during training camp. A new contract, but their holdout goes into the season, so they do miss games. No new deal, but they play just on whatever their current deal is or a franchise tag or whatever, or they're traded. So starting with Brandon Ayuk, who is one of the hold-in guys, not practicing currently.
I love hold-ins.
Yeah.
I just do you like them? I love them. I just love the mental play of it.
Yeah.
It's just like,
you want to find me? No, you can't. I'm here.
I'm here, and I'm feeling ill. I have a my bank account isn't where it needs to be, and my stomach hurts, and I can't practice, guys. I'm sorry.
And you guys will have to answer questions about it the whole time while I'm here. But
well, the people upstairs in the management and payroll, they have the medicine that I need, and if you get me that, I'll be out at practice.
And Ayuk has been an interesting one because he requested the trade, then but he has shown up to some of these things. Obviously, like we said, he's at camp, but he's not practicing. They have been strong on we are not going to trade him. The reports have been that when teams have reached out to the 49ers about the chance of acquiring Ayuk, that they've been like, no, we are not interested at all. So I do think the most likely one for him is no new deal but plays. But I do think there's a chance that they work it out and get the new contract. This is something that's been normal for the 49ers. For whatever reason, they really seem to wait until guys say, hey, I want a new pay raise. Nick Bosa had to hold out a little bit. Christian McCaffrey had to hold out a little bit. The next guy on this list is somebody who's holding out with years still left on his contract. So I think that they're really prepared to deal with guys on a holdout, and I think there's a chance they get a deal done with Ayuk. But I think the biggest one is that he just ends up playing on the end of his rookie deal here this year.
Yeah. The thing about Brandon Ayuk that I just think long-term for the 49ers, you go in the Brandon Ayuk direction over the Deebo Samuel direction. I just think at some point you have to put the money in Ayuk because he's a true receiver. And the way that he plays, he's very durable. And he's answered a lot of big play questions for you. His rapport with Purdy, like that. Those two have a bigger.
He's also younger. Just that simple factor.
Yeah, they just have a higher ceiling. And then you add in Pearsall, who's more of a traditional receiver, and then on top of that, when you paid Deebo, Christian McCaffrey was in Charlotte. Mm-hmm. Christian McCaffrey can do a lot of the same things that Deebo can do.
Yeah, you don't need a hybrid receiver running back when you have the best running back in the league.
Best hybrid receiver running back. Possibly
all time.
Yeah. So I would just go in the Ayuk direction if I were John Lynch. Not John Lynch.
The other 49er, and he is truly holding out, not showing up at all. Left tackle Trent Williams. This one, I think, is going to be a new contract, no missed games. I think that Trent Williams is also doing the savvy veteran move of, like, I'll take the fines. I'm going to hold out, but I've been in the league for, like, 13 years. I don't want to go to the beginning of training camp anymore. I think that's part of this one, too, that he's just like, I'm going to be ready for the season. We're going to hold out. We're going to see if we can get a new deal. Look at these other offensive lineman deals. I'm the best offensive lineman. Nobody really argues with that. I think they're going to eventually have to acquiesce and just get him his new deal. It'll be a shorter deal because of his age, but it'll be a very nice, high average annual value.
Yeah, and I think for Trent Williams, like, you're just at the age in your career where you're like, I am getting the most out of you. Like, right now, I need it all. Like I need a new deal. I need to get it, But, I mean, he is having one of the, best offensive line careers ever. Like, the only thing he's missing is a Super Bowl. But, besides that, he's been paid handsomely. He's had Pro Bowls. He's still athletic, and he's still one of the best guys to do it right now out there.
Cowboys wide receiver CeeDee Lamb, he's not with camp out in, I guess they don't do Dallas. They do out in California, but it's the Dallas team. CeeDee Lamb, what would you do in the scenario? Because you were saying, well, if I was John Lynch, well, if you were, I guess it's Jerry Jones. If you're Jerry Jones, what are you doing?
Well, I think I'm building around CeeDee Lamb on offense, and I think I'm building around Micah Parsons on defense.
Especially with Pollard just retiring too.
Yeah.
Not Pollard, Paul. Which one? One of their receivers.
He just retired.
Is it Pollard?
No,
he's the
Tony
tailback.
Tony Pollard. He's in Tennessee now. But I think when you look at contracts, Chops, you got to look at, like, the length of the contract. Michael Gallup, there it is.
Pollard, Gallup. That's why I got confused. I'm serious. I get names confused all the time, and I'm like, I know exactly why, even though it doesn't make sense.
No, it's tough. But I think when you're looking at the length of contract and you're looking at the youth of the player and who you're going to pay, like, who's going to be your highest paid offensive guy, you need to go in the direction of CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons, just because the DeMarcus Lawrence, Ezekiel Elliott, Dak Prescott days are over. Like, you can't go in that direction anymore, and you're going to have to look into another area for the quarterback. Like, if you pay Dak, like, is this where we're going for the next 5 years? Are these the next best 5 years of his career, or would I want him to go and get money from somewhere else? So I think this deal gets done. I think CD gets what he wants, and I think he's played at a level that he deserves to pay. And I mean, who else are you going to pay on offense? All the offensive linemen are locked in. Like, should get them right.
Yeah, the Cowboys are in a moment where they're, like, kind of in the Dak Super Bowl window, but it's never come together, so it's not something that I can say, like, oh, yeah, they can definitely go out there and win it. And I get what you're saying, like, the almost idea of, like, well, what's the guarantee for the team? Well, if you go with somebody like CeeDee Lamb and pour the resources into that, you can be pretty confident that as long as he has guarantees on his contract, you can guarantee that he'll be a healthy, good, productive player. And that's why you want to go with a guy like that and build your team around it. Packers QB Jordan Love, he is a hold-in. I don't know if he's going to get it's just 1 year, and he looked really good, especially the second half of the season. So maybe it's just because quarterbacks get the deal, but he already got that pseudo extension one time when he was still backing up Aaron. And so he's not on his rookie deal, but he's not at starting quarterback caliber. I think it's more likely, though, that they just get him next year and get him on the books.
I think the thing for Jordan Love, it has to burn your soul to see the Trevor Lawrence deal. Like that, like in the timing of it, like it was early, it was a lot, and it's like
he hasn't really proven much.
I'm better than this guy.
Yeah, we know he's talented, but it's not consistent.
I'm better than this guy in this league, and yes, he has a ceiling, and I think it's hard to show up to work after 2 weeks of, 2 weeks of seeing Trevor Lawrence's deal for Jordan Love. But I like this Packers team, Chops. I don't know if I got to talk to you about it yet, but I like Josh Jacobs. I love this group of young wide receivers, Jalen Reed and Watson. I think this team really has a talented defense, and I think it's them or Detroit to win the NFC North, and it depends solely on the play of Jordan Love. Not even how good Jared Goff and their defense could be. If Jordan Love can like play at his ceiling, like how he went into Dallas and played, I think this team has a chance to win the NFC North. They're that talented. So he is a big piece of that.
The NFC North is going to be a lot of fun. The AFC and NFC North are both going to be a lot of fun this year. So there are some of the holdout and hold-ins as we have started NFL training camps. Thing or not a thing on a Thursday coming up next. Bishop and Friends on The Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic.
Oh, yes.
Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hi, it's me, Little Bob from Bob's Discount Furniture. I know, you don't know me yet, but I'm here to let you know that I'm opening up 2 brand new showrooms in the Columbus area, located in Reynoldsburg and Polaris, bringing even more of my everyday low prices to the people of Ohio. And if you can't wait, mybobs.com is the quickest and easiest way to get unbeatable furniture prices delivered straight to your home today. That's my 2 brand new Bob's Discount Furniture stores coming to Reynoldsburg and Polaris this summer.
Get Bob's Discount!
Ready for all those warm weather get-togethers? Fill up your grocery basket at Giant Eagle. Giant Eagle's Deals for Days program features more than 1,000 deals on your favorite items, so you can save more on what you like most. Barbecue parties, graduations, communions, they're all easier to plan when you buy at Giant Eagle. These low prices are available for a limited time at your Giant Eagle and Market District, so save today. Find more information on Deals for Days at gianteagle.com.
Is arthritic joint pain keeping you from doing the things that you love? Bone-on-bone pain in your knee, arthritic pain like I was having in my knee, maybe your hip, your back, your shoulder. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Listen, there are exciting new cellular therapies that you can get lasting relief from. QC Kinetics is helping patients like you every day here in Columbus, led by Dr. Ray Tesner. I'm talking about cutting-edge treatments that accelerate your own body's healing properties, revitalizing your joints so you can move again. Listen, my dad was having knee pain. I was having knee pain. So we went over to QC Kinetics, and they were able to help us out. And 2 years out, I'm still feeling good. My dad can still move around. So learn how QC Kinetics can treat pain and enhance your joints and restore your mobility and give you long-term lasting relief with no downtime. So check them out. Go to 380-208-4544 or head to one of their offices in Dublin, Gehanna, or now the new one that's most recently opened in Grove City.
Common Man and T-Bone are known for many things. And while great radio ain't one of them, shoving food down their gullets is their specialty. Join Man and Bone for Fat Boy Food Tip.
Live at 3 or on the podcast.
Your home for fat. The Fan.
Great coaching can make all the difference, especially when it comes to your money. At Right Pac Credit Union, our financial coaches are on your team. We'll help you create a winning game plan that's customized for your unique needs, so you can make the most of your hard-earned money and live the life you want to live. Best of all, Right Pac Credit Union serves all of Central Ohio, so getting in the game is easy. Let's win together. Stop by one of our Central Ohio member centers to get started today. Equal housing opportunity, insured by NCUA.
Common Man here for Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. I was in my Lexus the other day. It was hot as hell, but I was so thankful for my ventilated seats. I'm not saying that's why you should buy one. It's just very nice. Right now at Jermaine Lexus, it's the Golden Opportunity Sales Event with lease payments as low as $499 a month and 3.99% financing on select models. Get this, the RZ is 0%. I have been a Jermaine customer for years, even before I started doing the commercials. If you're in the market, please stop in. Jermaine Lexus, Dublin and Easton, JermaineLexus.com.
FC Series presents Premier League giants Manchester City versus Chelsea. Don't miss the chance to see these great teams live at Ohio Stadium. Get your tickets now at fcseries.com.
You've waited all summer, and now is the time to take action at Buckeye Lake Marina. Join Buckeye Lake Marina on Saturday, July 27th from 9 to 5 for their massive summer boat extravaganza. Door prizes and giveaways, free food and refreshments. There will also be dock demonstrations with every available boat in the water. Take a ride aboard the latest and greatest new and used boats offered on Buckeye Lake. Don't miss Buckeye Lake Marina's summer boat extravaganza this Saturday, July 27th from 9 to 5. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for details.
As a local family-owned and operated company, Newman Roofing takes pride in providing a great customer experience and quality product to every job. From the first call to the final nail, you'll know how much we care. So call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit us online at newmanroofing.com.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Ohio Heating and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
They'll offer betting advice, but don't bet on it being good. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Chaps and DeVier Posey here with you. Research, time for Thing or Not a Thing.
Thing or Not a Thing.
Sponsored by Apex Plumbing Pros.
All right, so Big Ten Media Days wrap up today in Indianapolis. Dan Lanning is going to go at 11:30. You're going to hear from Sherrone more closer to 1 o'clock. Yesterday, Lincoln Riley of USC took the stage to answer questions from the media, and he was asked about Southern California's rivalry with Notre Dame and what the future of that series might hold with them joining the Big Ten and with the college football playoff expanding.
I know it means, a lot to a lot of people, and the purist in you, no doubt. Now, if you get in a position where you got to make a decision on what's best for SC to help us win a national championship versus keeping that, then you got to look at it. I mean, and listen, we're not the first example of that. Look all the way across the country. There's been a lot of other teams sacrifice rivalry games. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but, as we get into this playoff structure and if it changes or not, we get in this new conference, we're going to learn some about this as we go and what the right and the best track is to winning a national championship. That's going to evolve. Bama was ahead of the curve for years, I thought, on how they scheduled in the non-conference, right? They would occasionally hit the marquee non-conference game. They'd play two other, not very good teams. They'd play one late so that they got essentially a little bit of a bye week right there late in the season when your season's been going on, you're a little beat up. They didn't schedule for their fans. They scheduled to win championships. And so my hope is we can do the best thing, schedule to win championships, and that includes a rivalry game that, for all that comes with that and all that it means. But if you get in those positions, you got to make a decision on what the priority is.
Thing or not a thing?
I feel like in the I think you should leave sketch, oh my God, he admitted. We've had Paul Finebaum on here talking about he's been trying to get out of the LSU game for 2 years that they play at the beginning of this season. And it's one of those things where it's I don't know, is he telling the truth of what most coaches think? Because coaches love any sort of advantage they can get, and obviously that advantage can be something that you can get within the schedule, but it's just such a weird thing to say when he's already dealing with people coming at him about saying he's trying to run from this LSU game. The best thing for USC is to play Notre Dame because people like those rivalry games. And yes, your ultimate goal is to win, but it's also an entertainment product, and we want to watch entertaining classic games as well. So I hope that they keep Notre Dame on their schedule and don't take them off for fear of balancing your chances to get into the college football playoff, because now if you're a good team, with it being 12 and possibly expanding to greater ones, you're pretty much going to make the playoff. So the real goal is being a good team, not trying to game your schedule into a point where you're ooh, we can manufacture an 11-1 record, and then we can get into the college football playoff. No, just go out there and be a good team, play your schedule. Also, when you and Notre Dame have to play another team that's going to be in the playoff conversation most years, that can be a knockout one. Yeah, sometimes it can be you, but it could also be them, and you won't be knocked. We were talking about playing superpowers, too. You probably won't be completely knocked off if you lose to Notre Dame.
To me, this is a thing. This is a big deal. I think the nostalgia that fans get from rivalry games is okay. And for me, the only rivalry game that matters is Michigan and Ohio State. And obviously Alabama and Auburn and, and Texas and Oklahoma. There's the big ones. But, this Notre Dame thing is, it's overhyped to me. Like this independent schedule, appeasing Notre Dame.
I agree with that.
It's pretty annoying. And for Lincoln, I'm all about manufacturing championships with scheduling. We all in the corporate America manufacture the easiest work week through our weekly schedule.
It's true.
We carve out times to golf and go to lunch, and we carve out times where we don't have phone calls early in the morning or on schedule, on camera meetings. I think if I'm in a position like Nick Saban, I want to schedule to where I can ensure my success as a coach.
Yeah.
And what he said, he spoke about they had a built-in bye week. That's awesome to me. I love that stuff.
That's the difficult part with parsing through his comments, because I totally get it from the player or the coach standpoint, but from what we do, we want interesting. We want the bigger games. You know, we don't want, instead of USC playing Notre Dame, to play an FCS opponent. But yes, it does put you in a better position. I wonder too, is this finally putting out the feelers of the idea of like, we're going to force Notre Dame to come into the Big Ten? Because if they came into the Big Ten, then boom, you can just set them up as a rivalry. It's a Big Ten game every year. But yeah, is this finally going to be a little strong arming of Notre Dame that like, hey, if you want to play USC every year, you got to be a part of this conference?
Yep.
On Wednesday, the New York Post reported ESPN's Around the Horn could potentially end before the 2025 football season. The show's been around since 2002, and it's ESPN's second longest running debate show that's behind PTI, which debuted in 2001. I didn't know this until yesterday, but Max Kellerman was the show's host for its first 2 years before Tony Reali took over in 2004. Thing or not a thing?
That's why Tony Reali continued to be stat boy for PTI for so many years, even after he took over Around the Horn, because that's where he started while Kellerman was doing Around the Horn. I would say a thing for me. I don't know if it's going to be a thing for everybody, but I grew up getting home from school, doing some homework, and at a certain time flipping over and watching Around the Horn and PTI almost every day from like 8th grade to senior year. I would do that basically every day if I was home. Those were the two shows I watched. So like, it's a real end of an era feeling, but I'd be lying if I say I still watch it now. So it's not going to change a ton of my like daily routine at this point, but I would be sad to see it go.
It's a thing for me just because when I was a kid, I would watch it. And I just like to see the little ticker. I miss tickers. Like where I see what's coming up on SportsCenter. I miss on the left side with the highlights. But the thing that Around the Horn does now that I'm in media, which made it such a success and such a great show, is those guys can get in concise, clear points in a time frame.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. I'm going to miss seeing that just because I know how hard that is, right? I know how easy it is to ramble, and I love the nuance of Around the Horn just from the media perspective. So I'm going to be sad to see it go.
Plus, you adding a competition part to it with the point scoring that doesn't really make sense, but it's still there.
Yep.
Real quick, a double-double by Jared Sullinger and 18 points by Caleb Wesson led Carmen's Crew past reigning TBT champions Heartfire 74-70 on Wednesday. Carmen's Crew is going to their first TBT quarterfinal since 2019. The quarterfinal matchups this coming Monday. Carmen's Crew is going to take on Takeover BC at 7 o'clock on FS1. Thing or not a thing?
Big thing.
Yeah, it's cool that Sullinger was the leader of this and that they're advancing. Yeah, so now it's time to really lock in on these games and check out Carmen's Crew because they are in can-win-it territory now, and they've won it once before.
Well, unfortunately, Jared Sullinger isn't in Ohio State's Hall of Fame. If anybody from Ohio State is listening, it's time. It's time to put Jared Sullinger in the Hall of Fame. The man is a winner wherever he goes. This TBT appearance that he's doing, it's such a big deal for me because you get to see the crossover of errors. Like you get
to see what if this guy played with this guy.
Like, it's so cool. So it's a big deal. Jared wins everywhere he goes. Put him in the Hall of Fame.
Coming up, 20 most interesting programs continues with The U. Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
We are your radio home for the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. We may have a bit of a football problem. Oh, yeah. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Whether you're a seasoned pro or a new golfer, think beyond the green and head over to X Golf Columbus and X Golf Powell. Come experience the most advanced and accurate golf simulators in the world at X Golf. A fun venue with great food, excellent service, and a full bar. You can play around on one of our 50 courses, take a lesson from our PGA Pro, hit the driving range, join a league, or just sit back and sip a beer on the outdoor patio. Book your tee time today at playxgolf.com. X Golf Columbus and X Golf Powell, the home of indoor golf.
When it comes to protecting your business, whether it's your staff, property, or assets, don't make a crucial mistake by contracting companies that provide subpar and unprofessional service. What you need is a security partner known for their unwavering professionalism and unnatural liability. You need Event Risk. Event Risk is a U.S.-based, veteran-owned company that not only specializes in on-site guarding, but also offers armed security associates and executive protection agents. Event Risk, elite protection for your peace of mind.
Hello, my name is Eric Rose, CEO and founder of Event Risk Security Services. We are a U.S.-based, veteran-owned company providing protection services and consulting to Fortune 500 corporations, movie studios, celebrities, and high-net-worth individuals. If you're tired of fluff margins with low compensation for poor quality security officers and the endless revolving door of vendor staffing, then give us a try. For virtually the same cost, we can then address what keeps you up at night.
Visit eventriskinc.com.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Oregon, Washington, UCLA, and USC won't officially join the Big Ten until next Friday. But all 4 schools have been represented this week in Indianapolis as the conference is holding its annual media days at Lucas Oil Stadium. The festivities wrap up Thursday. Oregon's Dan Lanning will kick things off today, speaking with the media in about 30 minutes. New Michigan man Sherrone Moore will speak around 12:45, while Ohio State opens fall camp next Thursday. And the Fan will be live broadcasting Morning Juice and this program on August 1st and 2nd. In baseball today, the Guardians host the Tigers at 1:10. Gavin Williams will go for Cleveland, who's won 2 straight. Guardians are at the league-leading Phillies on Friday. As for the Reds, Cincinnati has the day off. Redlegs are coming off a 9-4 win in Atlanta yesterday. They'll play at the Rays on Friday, and the Clippers continue against the Memphis Redbirds tonight at 7:05. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Sports conversation that's worthy of a toast, or at least a stiff drink. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
DeVier and I were talking in the break here because apparently it's National Chili Dog Day. So the Bengals had a video of Money Mac, their kicker, going out there and getting a coney. And I was wondering, I don't know if a coney would be like the exact right thing before practice, but I suppose a kicker could probably eat just about anything and still get his work done.
A kicker and a long snapper can pull off, and a backup quarterback can pull off a coney. Anybody else, you're earling.
Yeah,
throwing up.
How far into a practice in the summer, in a training camp practice, would you have gotten if you had to eat a coney right before?
The thing, you would throw up, but just the thing about like how bad you would feel. Like there's throw ups to where like you feel better after.
It's a cleansing thing.
Yeah, you're like, man, we're going to that place next. Like I'm that kind of guy. But then there's throw ups where you're like, oh, I need to get in bed, and like a Skyline chili throw up in practice. It's a in bed.
Yeah,
like you don't feel better.
Chili dogs have had a very big portion of our shows over the last week or so. Did you see the Tim Hall, Tyvis Powell, old chili cheese dog scenario that happened on Friday?
No.
So Tim found an old chili cheese dog upstairs in the cafe, brought it down, and Common Man was like, you should eat it. He's like, Tyvis should have a bite too. Then Tyvis eats it. Then Tim gets a mysterious stomach bug over the weekend that he claims is not part of it.
Oh, Tim definitely got that from that old chili dog. Yep.
He is not going to be able to get past that one. But yeah, Tyvis also fine. Tyvis played in Cardale Jones' softball game after having the hot dog.
Well, Tyvis has been he's been garbage disposal stomach lately. You know, he's getting bigger.
He would love to hear you say that. First thing he said to me yesterday when he came in to do the show with me, he said, "I'm down 2 pounds," and I said, "Good job, Tyvis.
Good job, Tyvis."
It's because you ate the hot dog. All right, time for 20 most interesting. The U.
As college football draws near, Bishop and Friends present the 20 most interesting programs. Spoiler alert, Rutgers isn't one of them.
Miami, are they back? They claim to be back quite often, but they have never been able ever really since Ohio State beat them in that 2002 national championship to get back to where they were. They've had some exciting seasons. They've had some coaches that maybe you thought, is this the guy? And they usually flame out, but they brought back a hometown hero. Offensive lineman, love to see that, an offensive lineman getting all the way to head coach. But Mario Cristobal, he was at Oregon, and he said, no, I'd rather go home, went out to Miami, and now he's trying to build up the Hurricanes. It looks like it's going okay, but then last year, it gets off the rails from them at the end of the season. They end up with a 7-5 regular season record, and it all kind of stemmed from that Georgia Tech game, and they were talking about this, some of their players yesterday at ACC Media Day.
2 plays.
They let it distract them throughout the year because they literally just gave that one away. All you had, and that's why it's very difficult to evaluate where they are under Mario Cristobal, because that's ultimately the head coach's decision to call a real play instead of just taking a knee when they could have just ran it out. Instead, they fumbled. Georgia Tech finds a way to score there as the clock's running out, and boom, they lose, and then they go on to lose a majority of their games down the stretch. Can they right that wrong, get that stuff, put it behind them, and move forward this year?
Man,
I don't know.
You talk about like plays in a season that, just determine the whole season.
Yeah.
But there's also plays in the season that determine momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Like a play for me last year in Ohio State season was Emeka JT Maloa's tip ball in the flat versus Notre Dame, momentum saving play, and then Emeka Ibuka's 2 big catches on those final drives. Those are plays that started us on, a winning streak all the way to Michigan, right, in Missouri. And those kind of plays help. This play in the Miami-Georgia Tech game was momentum for the bad reason. It made
a momentum killer, yeah.
Well, I think a lot of things happen. Cristobal started questioning his decisions. And as a coach, when you're questioning your decisions, you're losing sleep. You don't feel good about anything you do. And then you lose the trust of the players.
The players start to feel that of the unsureness that's going on around the locker room and in the staff. Yeah.
And then the overwhelming sense from the fans, we don't trust the players or the coaches. So that play, Chops, it really turned a lot of things bad for those guys last year.
Yeah, so they end up, as I said, 7-5 regular season. I was trying to remember what happened in their bowl game, and I was like, what? I feel like I did watch it. I did watch it. So they lost it, so they ended up with a 7-6 record. They lost to Rutgers in the Pinstripe Bowl, which is just so, you'd never think Miami should be in that situation. That's just not the level of program they should be, but that's kind of where they've been over these last 15 years or so. So can they actually turn this around? Cristobal hasn't had very much success there. 5-7 in his first year, 7-6 last year. So this is the year to do it. I don't know for sure because we haven't gone through a bunch of years of quarterbacks with him, but we were talking about James Franklin at Penn State and how he hasn't really developed his quarterback. Well, Tyler Van Dyke essentially got worse each year that he was the starting quarterback for Miami. And actually between one of the years, Nick Saban was gunning for him reportedly to transfer in to Alabama. And then he came back for his last year this previous season and was like, no, why would they have wanted this guy? So I don't know if it was his fault or if it's a Mario Cristobal thing. This year, though, they go out into the transfer portal. They get former Washington State quarterback Cam Ward. So that puts a lot of expectation and a lot of excitement around this team this year. They have been recruiting a little bit better. It has jumped up a little bit with Mario Cristobal. And I wanted to see, what was it looking like before? So Cristobal's first year was the 22 class, but he was hired in that cycle. So it's not, it wasn't the first time he got the full year. But in 21, they were 11th. Dropped to 13th in the coaching switch, 23 8th, 24 6th, and currently 9th in 25. So Yes, they have improved up into there. Can they ever get into classes that look like top 5 for them, and then they can really start building up this roster? I think the other factor with Miami that you're dealing with is everything that's going on with the lawsuits in the ACC and Florida State and Clemson and what's going to happen there. They chose to go to the ACC, and it has not worked out for them from a competitive standpoint, and now they are just kind of on uneven footing of what it's going to look like moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, this program has been trying to reemerge in the football scene and world since, I would probably say, 2008, 2010, 11. I mean, and they were somewhat irrelevant, relevant at
they
the
had
time.
a Heisman, Ja'Cory Harris.
They had a Ja'Cory Harris, Sean Spence, those guys, Marcus Forston, that whole team's like, and no, that's around my era when we played on the home and away versus them.
Yeah.
And so it's been a while, but the thing about Miami is, bottom line, that program can't win unless they recruit South Florida. When you got a guy like Hartline coming to take a guy like Jeremiah Smith out of there, and it's tough because that's what gave Miami a lot of their earlier success was keeping those Miami Northwestern, Chaminade Madonna, Heritage, St. Thomas Aquinas, Miami Northwestern, keeping those guys home, right? Like recruiting the Muck, all the way to the Naples area. Like when those guys stay home in Miami, they have a successful program. But they haven't been able to do that with Urban Meyer in 2006 kind of opening up recruiting to national and not regional and making it a regular thing, and then like everybody kind of following after that model. It's just kind of decimated programs like Miami who operated regionally. So it's been tough.
Yeah, it's really great to when it was operating regionally and you could get those guys. And then in Miami's case, being in an actual talent-rich state at the same time. But now, Ohio State, not really. It has varied from time to time exactly how much they care about getting the best players in the state of Ohio. But most of the time, they want that. And it's not that difficult for them. There hasn't been too many instances where Ohio State really wants a guy that is from Ohio and they don't get him. Back in the day, it used to be some Michigan ones. And then every once in a while, like the Catholic schools down in Cincinnati will choose Notre Dame or something like that instead of Ohio State. But for the most part, they're able to keep that and they get to go do the national recruiting. Now Miami has fallen off a little bit. They don't have a fence around Southern Florida.
No, they don't.
Because other people can come in and get guys.
And just pluck their talent out.
And then
there.
where else do they go? And they just have not been able to build the same rosters. They do feel a little bit too like it was Jimmy Johnson had something special going there, and then they were able to run that for a pretty long time. But it might just be the truth that Miami just isn't a program that has the infrastructure around it to always be at the top of the game. It's a very small university. It doesn't have a ton of money to just throw around. Even their NIL guy, he kind of ran out of money, although Shapiro says he's back now.
Well, true. They had success.
Have a new money guy.
They had success when they had Shapiro, but you gotta look at where he's getting the money from, because I thought the last money was Ponzi scheme money.
Yes, exactly. They are kind of in a Nebraska scenario where it's for Nebraska, it's not 1995 for them. Hey, it's not the mid 80s anymore.
Yeah.
So what are you going to be? And you have to figure that out. And I think under Mario Cristobal, they can get to that. But as we keep watching it, it's just like they've just tried this so many years over year, and they have not been able to get quote unquote back.
Yeah. I think they have done a good job, with retaining their starters, and they have done a good job in the portal this year. And Cam Ward, to me, was a big get. He was my number one quarterback in the portal that I wanted Ohio State to get.
I liked him too, yeah.
I really thought he did a great job at Washington State. And the thing about him is he plays more athletic than he looks. Like he doesn't look like he's that shifty, right? Like his body isn't like super developed, he's sort of like, he kind of looks pudgy a little bit, but
it's not Jaden Daniels.
He's not a Jaden Daniels type of build, slender build, but he can play ball. I think his leadership coming down to a program like that, he has the understanding of what it means to be a great Miami football player, right? Like being in this situation, in his mindset, he's like, I can be the guy that can help get this back on track. Yeah. So he has a big year. This team is in the playoffs, honestly.
No, and somebody from the ACC has to go.
Yeah,
why not? Why not them? And they are definitely up there. It's kind of Florida State, Miami, Clemson, and everybody else right now in the ACC. So if they can capture that, then they might have a chance to actually do something to make some noise, and then Cristobal's job would be safe, I would think.
If they can go undefeated in the state of Florida this year, I think they get in the playoffs, even if they lose to Clemson. But if they can go undefeated in the state of Florida, I think they get in.
Yeah, I think that's because those teams are going to be
pretty good.
Yeah, it's just with the Gators. I don't know what's going to happen this year because as we talked, that schedule. Categories for the Hurricanes coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Direct auto insurance is for uncompromisers, like Matt. When his old car insurance got so expensive, do you think he walked until his sneakers wore out? No, because he found savings with Direct Auto so he could drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25% on state minimum coverage, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a free quote at directauto.com or a store near you. Savings vary, terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
The summer sell-down is on at Performance Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Save thousands with bonus cash on select inventory. Plus, get another $2,500 off any new Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram with your trade. One Performance, 2 locations, Georgesville and Delaware.
Trade value based on KBB, be comparable, 2010 model or newer, and price of $5K.
Diamond Seller's Wedding Weekend is back. Shop buy one, get one half off wedding bands, 20% off diamond anniversary bands, and special offers on diamond engagement rings. Visit us at Diamond Seller's Wedding Weekend, Friday, July 26th and Saturday, July 27th on Sawmill Road.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Let's talk about your sleep, specifically if you're not getting enough of it. If you're feeling groggy all day because you didn't sleep well, that is an awful feeling. I've been there. And if you're snoring when you sleep, well, that could be a big reason why you aren't feeling rested. This fact surprised even me the first time I heard it, and that is as you age, your risk of having obstructive sleep apnea nearly doubles. That's right. You need to find out if your snoring is related to sleep apnea, because if it is, there's actually help available for you right now. Dr. Mark Levy is board certified in the treatment of sleep apnea, and he offers a custom-fitted oral appliance that effectively treats sleep apnea. I have been telling you about this for years. And maybe you've been snoring for years. Now's the time to get this fixed. Plus, most Medicare patients have little to no out-of-pocket costs for this treatment. So you need to stop putting it off. Don't ignore your snore. Get your sleep apnea treated by calling Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. Get the life back you deserve. Call Dr. Mark Levy today, 1-800-MORE-SLEEP, or visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Hi, here are some ways to listen to The Fan. You can download the Fan app, or listen at home on your smart speaker, or open up the iHeartRadio app, or hold your head out the window and hear Common Man scream. Happy listening from the Dopes at The Fan.
Hey, it's Anthony for the Good Feet store. 3 words for me: pain-free summer. Spent probably 30 hours walking around the Memorial Tournament and felt awesome with my personal arch supports from the Good Feet store in my everyday kicks. Sure, every now and then we all get random foot pain from pickleball or golf or just being a human being. Having my personally fit arch supports in my shoes has made a massive difference. And even right after I put them in, didn't take long to feel much more supported and aligned, and it's so easy to just move them into any pair. Before I had them, I dreaded being on my feet for any length of time. Well, you have nothing to lose but the pain, as they say. It's a free fitting and test walk. Try them for yourself. See the difference it can make. It did for me. And best of all, you can wear them home. 2 locations on Polaris Parkway and Stringtown Road, or schedule an appointment at goodfeet.com. The Good Feet store, America's arch supports experts.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself, or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See, we didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
Friday, July 26th is Recovery Ohio's Mental Health Day at the Ohio State Fair. Visit the Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services, the Department of Insurance, and other state agency booths. Come learn about mental health resources available to you and to your family. Join us on Friday, July 26th for Recovery Ohio's Mental Health Day at the Ohio State Fair. We'll see you there.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
A cold front moved through the area last night, delivering refreshing air today. It'll be cooler and less humid. 84 for the high today, along with a 20% chance of a pop-up shower. Tonight, clear skies, low 62. Tomorrow, looking at sunny skies, high 85. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with a look at your 10 TV weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
Drink recommendations, movie reviews, sports discussion, and whatever the hell Reeser does. This is Bishop and Friends.
Miami, the U. All right, we're going to head into categories, but first, let's take a listen, see what they've got going fight song wise. Okay, I think yesterday we had Georgia's. It's fine, but it is one of those ones that, like, I feel like you could just play this as generic college band music, and I would just be like, I don't know, yeah, sure. I guess that's somebody's song. Yeah, it's a nice fight song, but it does fall, I think, into the category of all fight songs kind of sound the same. Yeah. First one up for the categories today, we've got modern college football grade. Reeser, what say you?
I'm going to give them a C. I think they are average. I think losing Jeremiah Smith really hurt, especially when it was so down to the last minute. I don't know if you remember from his recruitment, there was, the day he signed, or the day at least he sent in his letter of intent, Miami was still talking to him, still trying to get him across their finish line, and they couldn't pull that off. When you lose a guy in your home state like that, it's really tough to come back from. But they landed Cam Ward in the transfer portal. They've shored up some help from receiver spot, from their defensive front. So it's good, but if they want to be back, like, boy, I wish they would, it's got to be a lot better. But it's a C overall.
DeVier?
Yeah, I'm with you. I would probably say it's a D. Just because, like, I think C for me is like, you're having first round picks, even though you aren't that good, you're having great bowl game appearances. So I'm just like, they haven't been doing any of that.
Yeah.
So this year they can change. They can go from C to B, easily. I mean, D to B for me easily this year. This could be a year that they take a big jump. But just modern football wise, like, Miami has. I mean, David Njoku. That's about the best thing for Miami football that I can say over the last 10 years.
And I have them a little higher in the B, maybe even B plus range, but I think I do overvalue the idea of, well, they went in the portal and they found not just a guy who's going to start at quarterback, but a real starting quarterback. And so, okay, they've got a good idea on that. The recruiting has improved, but like you're saying, it hasn't translated to the field yet as far as success for them. And their NIL stuff with the life wallet money man kind of going away, they do have to figure out that scenario for them. But yes, it could also jump up very quickly, like DeVier was saying. Do they have the right coach grade?
Yeah, I think it's also a C. I don't know what the right coach would look like for Miami if it's not a former player, but he was so stupid last year that it seems so unforgivable. Like, if you have the lack of awareness in a tight game situation like what Mario Cristobal had last year, I don't know how you can come back from that, or how you can give people faith that you actually have learned your lesson.
Yeah, I'm going to say I'm at C. I like the former player aspect. I do. I like someone who wants to bring the U back. Mm-hmm. But it's just hard to forgive a momentum season killer.
And that they couldn't even get away from after the fact. Like, it clearly distracted them down the stretch.
It distracted them. And I mean, in my own means, like, in the ACC, like, this Georgia Tech Miami is a big game. Like, it's a big game. Like, it's like Atlanta versus Miami, you know? And it's just, it's not a rivalry game. It's not Florida State versus Miami by all means. But, no, it means something like Wisconsin versus Ohio State, or, you know, or Penn State versus Ohio State. It's in that category for an ACC, and you just crap down your leg, man. You got poop in your shoes right now, Cristobal. You got to walk in it.
I went B- because I think he's a better coach than what his 2 seasons at Miami have shown record-wise, but you do have to put it together, and yeah, definitely big detriment to your grade because of what happened in that Georgia Tech game. I mean, look, the players are being asked about that plays and end of that game specifically at the next year's media days. So they can say how much they want to get away from it, but they haven't gotten away from it yet.
Yeah.
Up next, uniform grade, Reese.
I think they are a B+ for me because they've gone back to how Miami should look. Like, I know they've, you know, messed around for, it feels like 20 years with the uniform changes that they've had every couple. Like, every time they're able to, it feels like they want to change. But what they had last season and what they're going to be rocking into 2024, it feels like Miami. And that's how it should look.
For me, Miami's uniforms are always an A.
Yeah.
The orange and green to me, the cane, it just feels bad when that team isn't winning, but it has the nostalgia of a look. Like, for me, like, it means something to me. Like, I love their colors.
It is a great color scheme.
It's just like there will always be an A. Just like North Carolina, they're like in the North Carolina for me. Like, no matter what North Carolina does, baby blue always looks good. Orange and green always looks good.
I do like the color schemes. I went B here, though, because similar to what Reese said, there's been too many changes. When I think of Miami, like a classic uniform, I think of like 80s Miami. And like now their uniforms are a little closer to that. But in the whole meantime, they really have not been. And they've almost been like a poster child for Nike trying out different styles and just putting it in to Miami colors. I will say this, because I have a big thing with when your logo is just a letter. But theirs is stylized enough with the 2 different colors, and the U is not like a U that you find on any sort of font in Microsoft Word, that I'll give them some credit for it, but it is ultimately still just a letter, and it's, hey, make a real logo. I'm just asking for more real logos. I'm tired of letters. Coolest to ever play there.
Well, if it's not Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and I would caution against Googling what I'm about to say at home or in front of kids, but third leg Greg Olson.
What is that, a 7th Floor Crew or something?
Yes.
Be
careful where you
song?
Google that.
Yeah.
We cannot play it on these airwaves.
No. Coolest to ever play there for me. Can I have a tie, or is it just one guy?
I had 2. It's really Sean Taylor for me.
Sean Taylor,
but I'm a goofball, so
for me it's Andre Johnson. One, because he's a former teammate. He wore number 5. I absolutely love number 5. Growing up, I wore number 5. Dre was just like I was on spring break in college one time in Miami, and I was on South Beach, and I saw Andre Johnson, and then I was just like, man, I should go talk to him. And then, boom, I get drafted the next year. He's my teammate.
Nice. I always liked him in Houston. I always thought he was really underrated. He's had a revolving door quarterbacks the whole time.
Yeah, and then, Eric, I was telling Chops about how I went on this binge of Devin Hester college returns. Like, you're talking about talking about a Hall of Fame returner. So for me, coolest to play there was Devin Hester and Andre Johnson. Devin Hester is insane. His highlights. Youngins, if you're listening, go watch some Devin Hester Miami Hurricane highlights.
I went with Ed Reed. He is one of those guys who, like, in a cool way, he's gotten a different type of cool, but cooler as he's aged. He's got the salt and pepper. Yeah. He's not there anymore, but he was the chief of staff for them for a number of years recently. I don't know what that what that title had him do, but he was back there. Yeah, Ed Reed's just a cool guy. Would they make Lance Harbor's Final 5 grade? So I don't know. Lance Harbor from Varsity Blues, right? Yeah. If he was a quarterback recruit right now, would Miami be in his top 5 if he put out the little recruiting graphic? That's what this one is. Reeser, for you,
they would not. It's an F. They wouldn't be. They wouldn't even be a hat on his table.
No, I'm with Reeser on that.
Yeah, I'm with you guys too. I don't think it's going to happen, especially with the questions around where's the money guy for their NIL at this point. Win it all, playoff, or chumps, Reese?
I hesitate saying chumps because I don't think chumps is necessarily a bad. It's not completely a negative, but they're chumps. Like, this isn't a team that should make the playoffs. This is a team that could be, like, at best, I think you're looking at 13th or 14th in their ranking and bitching at season's end about how they were snubbed from a playoff. But that's if everything goes well.
Yeah. I think they could sneak into the playoffs. There's a chance they could get an ACC bid, but I think it's more likely that they're in that chumps category.
Yeah, I think they get a playoff chance. Like, and I'm going out on a whim here, and I've said that this is my surprise team of the year. This team in Tennessee. I'm really excited for these two teams, and I think Kansas State too as well. But I got to ride with Miami. I got to stand on business here, and I believe, if they can be undefeated in the state of Florida, they get in.
Adam Lichtenstein of the Florida Sun Sentinel, the South Florida Sun Sentinel, joins the show next for more on Miami. Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
The 2 most mature people working at the radio station. And that's just because they wear pants.
The pervert and the skivvies.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan.
Nationwide Picnic with the Pops presents the pride of the Buckeyes, the Ohio State University Marching Band. Don your scarlet and gray and join the Columbus Symphony for a night of fight songs, battle cries, Carmen, Ohio, and more. Special guest appearances include Brutus Buckeye and the Ohio State cheer team. Pack your picnic basket and join the fun at the first big tailgate party of the season, topped off with fireworks. July 26th and 27th. Get your tickets today at picnicwithapops.com.
Marty Brenneman here for Tri-State Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health for treating erectile dysfunction and low testosterone issues. And they're the leader for a reason, because I can tell you from my own experience of being treated there, Tri-State Men's Health is top shelf. Far too many men wait to get their ED treated, but I want to tell you today that you shouldn't wait any longer. If you're suffering with ED and are like most guys, a medical team at Tri-State Men's Health will get you back on track fast. They have the experience, they have the treatment protocols, and they know what they're doing. At Tri-State Men's Health, they have ED treatments that are effective in well over 90% of men. They can even combine treatments for better results. You might even find yourself performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment today. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. They have 6 offices in the tri-state area to serve you.
Hey there, friends. It's Bo Bishop here for my friends at RCD RV. Remember your favorite summer vacation as a kid? Well, I sure do, and I can tell you those memories will last forever. And there is still time to create those memories with your family when you visit the fine people at RCD RV. You can literally go anywhere in an RV. The mountains, the lake, road trip of a lifetime. RCD has over 600 new and pre-owned RVs in stock, something for every budget. Visit them at one of their 3 Central Ohio locations or online anytime at rcdrv.com.
If you're obsessed with fantasy sports and gambling things, we have the slightly above average radio show for you. On the Money with Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas.
Presented by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus.
Sunday morning at 9 on The Fan. Get Eco.
Hey, Aaron. Hey, Jerry. As you know, I am a world-renowned inventor. So you keep telling me. The royalties alone on that little plastic table I invented to put in pizza boxes, more than you can imagine.
And yet you come into the office here at Eco every day when you're supposed to be a silent partner.
Get Eco.
Because, Aaron, I think we should do a better job of telling people all the ways the word eco stands for everything we do.
I'm pretty sure people can figure it out.
Economical. Ecological, eco-countable, eco-accommodating.
Is there a spelling requirement to be an inventor? I mean, I barely graduated, and I can spell those words better.
Get Eco.
When people get Eco to help with their plumbing, electrical, air conditioning, they get all that. Innovative, modern, practical solutions from highly trained plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
It's all right there in the name.
It is all right there in the name.
Get Eco.
GetEco.com.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
The final season of Yellowstone might just be Bo's dad live on YouTube. What's the difference anyway? This is Bishop and Friends.
Shops and DeVier Posey with you, and we're going to head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Talk to Adam Lichtenstein of the South Florida Sun Sentinel, covers the Miami Hurricanes. We were talking previously this hour, Adam, about Miami and what derailed their season last year, and it looks like you can pretty much circle the end of that Georgia Tech game. They're still being asked about and talking about it at media days this week from somebody who's around it. Can you put into perspective how much that little decision of deciding to run the ball rather than taking a knee has sort of put a cloud over them for the last 8 months?
Why did something happen at the end of that game? I don't remember. No, you're right. It's still a thing. I remember the day after that game, I was talking to people about it, and my wife said to me, "You're going to be talking about this for a few weeks." And I said, "I'm going to be talking about this for the rest of my life." It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen on a football field, just because it just was so ridiculous. They could have just won the game taking a knee. Mario Cristobal hasn't really addressed it much, at least not in some of the comments that I've seen, at media day. But it's still a question. I've had people ask me on other shows, did they make any changes? How are they going to handle? If a similar situation comes up, in a big game, they need to know how to do this. Can they do it? I would like to think that after, the criticism, after everything that happened, the fact that it cost them, there's a big vibes difference between 7-5 and 8-4, and that win cost them an 8-win season, or that loss cost them an 8-win season. I would like to think that Mario Cristobal wouldn't do that again, and maybe we'll designate a GA or an analyst purely to, doing math and counting the clock while he's coaching, during the game, so that they know when they can take a knee and when it would be appropriate to take a knee. They haven't said we've changed this and this, but hopefully I would hope they have, because that was just crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to be able to have some end of the game management there. Adam DeVier Posey, I wanted to ask you about the impact of Cam Ward's leadership. Is it enough to really make this team a playoff team? Can he play at a level to where guys have so much confidence that this can become a playoff team?
I do think so. If everything goes right, obviously, injuries can happen. You never know what's going to happen during the course of a football season. But I definitely think he's capable of getting Miami there. He was obviously very, very good at Washington State. Got a little overshadowed in the Pac-12 last year with, Bo Nix and Michael Penix and all those other great quarterbacks they had out there. But he had a very good season as well. He's a very talented quarterback. Looked very good in the spring. Looked like he was building chemistry with the rest of the offense very quickly. I know he said that he had all the skill players over to watch the Super Bowl at his place, and taking the offensive lineman out for dinner, which with a bill that I can only imagine range into the five-figure range. But yeah, no, I definitely think he's got the chemistry, and I think he's got the tools on offense. You look at Miami's offense this year, and there's really not a weak spot. They also brought in Damian Martinez, a 1,000-yard rusher from Oregon State. Their receivers, they bring back a 1,000-yard receiver in Xavier Restrepo. Jacoby George, who was, I think, 4th in the ACC in receiving yards. They have a couple of really good freshmen on the team who I think are very talented receivers, including one guy, JoJo Trader, who I watched at his high school down here for a couple of years now, who's an excellent wide receiver. He was a borderline 4-star, 5-star prospect. He only got a little overshadowed because he was playing next to the number 1 player in the country, Jeremiah Smith, who's up there in Columbus. So I think the offensive line is also, it's a Mario Cristobal offensive line with 3 returning starters, and, that should do a pretty good job protecting Cam Ward, who I think has gotten sacked like 80 times over the last 2 years. That shouldn't happen again. He should have more time to utilize his tools on offense. So I really do think, he seems like he's the guy, and he seems like he's got the attitude. Mario Cristobal's done nothing but praise his attitude. He called him an alpha yesterday at ACC Media Days, and, it seems like he's the guy. I mean, we won't know until he comes out of that tunnel in the swamp in about a month and a half. But it seems like he's the guy.
Adam Lichtenstein of the South Florida Sun Sentinel, Miami Hurricanes beat writer on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. From the outside looking in, it feels like after 2 not so great years that Mario Cristobal probably isn't being able to coast off of I'm a Miami guy anymore. But how hot is the seat, and what would he have to do this year to get those problems to go away, of any sort of inkling that he is on a hot seat?
I don't think he's on a hot seat. Maybe it's it's like a dial. It's like one or 2 clicks towards hot. Because, they should have done better last year. He made as bad of a coaching mistake as anyone's ever seen. But on the other hand, he recruits really well, and recruiting well can fix a lot of problems, both in terms of just making a team better and, placating a fan base that's, on the verge of maybe getting impatient. This year's a huge year, obviously. I think if they have a good year this year, he's set. He's good. I think if they're disappointing this year, because the schedule's not that hard if you look at it like this, they have a very manageable schedule. If they were to go 4 or 7-5 again against the schedule, not be a real relevant team this year, not in playoff contention, not in conference title contention, then things start getting warm, because this seems like it should be a really good team. Like I said, the offense doesn't really seem like it has holes, and the defense, there are question marks, but there are question marks because they just brought in a lot of new people, especially on the defensive line, and they lost a couple of key talented guys like Cam Kitchens and James Williams to the NFL. So it's not that they don't have the guys to fill in for them, but they haven't done it yet, so no one knows. It's hard to say for sure. But this team should be good, and it should be good enough to be one of the better teams in the ACC. And if they're not, then we might start, conversations, these rumors, these Twitter messages might start flying, because you start to wonder if he's the guy, if it's been 3 years and they're still not at the level he wants to be, or the level Miami fans think they should be at. So I don't think it's a hot seat now. I think it's, not ice, but it's also not ice cold, just a cool seat right now. I don't think you need to be worried about getting fired, but I think if they have a bad year this year, then those concerns start coming up.
Adam, what's the overall feel of the program? A lot of Miami's success was the older players buying in, reaching back, each one teach one. I know Randy Shannon really tried to have, guys like Ed Reed, Andre Johnson, Santana Moss, have those guys back into the fold here. And I think for Miami, that's an important part of the identity of their school, is having the alumni on board. And then also, my other question is how is the NIL support here? Do they have enough support to go out and get the players they want and have the older players support this team and Cristobal and Cam Ward and company?
Yeah, so as far as the first part goes, with having, team alumni back and around the program and teaching younger guys and all that stuff, I definitely think that's a thing. They have, I think they had a team dinner, like a alumni dinner not too long ago. Mario was talking about it during ACC Media Day yesterday. I think he said Michael Irvin gave a really good speech where he basically said, if you can't help us win, I don't want to be your friend. I don't care about you. You're just a guy. So I think he's definitely brought that back. It helps when you were on 2 national title winning teams. You know, he's got, and he was a coach in the early 2000s as well at UM before he came back. So he definitely has those roots and those ties to those older guys who were successful at UM, know what UM needs to do to win, know what it's supposed to look like. That's something he said a lot, that he knows what a great team looks like, and he knows that from his time at UM, his time coaching as an assistant coach in the early 2000s. He knows that from being coaching under Nick Saban at Alabama. So, like, he knows what a great team looks like, how a great team practices. And, you know, he says, I mean, we'll see for ourselves when fall camp starts in a couple weeks. He says this team is getting to that point. And I would hope so, because it's year 3 of his culture of building this team. I would hope they're getting to the point where that he wants it to be at. And then as far as NIL, I think Miami's got, you know, no shortage of NIL money. You know, there was all the talk the first year or two of NIL, you know, the booster John Ruiz and him, you know, splashing out cash and announcing all the NIL deals on Twitter, which was great for me as a reporter because, you know, I can see what everyone's making. That makes my job a little bit easier. But I think he's kind of faded now. If not totally, if he's still giving out, you know, NIL deals, then, you know, great for him, but he's not as flashy about it. They've also got, you know, your collective and stuff like that. They've got money, guys who are maybe a little bit quieter about it, just giving money to the collective, and the collective, you know, signing players to NIL deals. Like a lot of football players are signed to Canes Connect, which is, you know, kind of like the premier collective for So I think they're doing fine on the NIL front.
All right. Yeah, we are up against it. So I'm going to take a knee and let the clock run out. But Adam, thanks so much for joining us. It was really insightful. A good time talking to you.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Adam.
He's Adam Lichtenstein, Miami Hurricanes beat writer for the South Florida Sun Sentinel. He's on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. 3 things coming up next. Bishop and Friends on the Fan.
The only radio station still operating with an active booze cart. I'm drunk right now. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Let's talk about your sleep, specifically if you're not getting enough of it. If you're feeling groggy all day because you didn't sleep well, that is an awful feeling. I've been there. And if you're snoring when you sleep, well, that could be a big reason why you aren't feeling rested. This fact surprised even me the first time I heard it, and that is as you age, your risk of having obstructive sleep apnea nearly doubles. That's right. You need to find out if your snoring is related to sleep apnea, because if it is, there's actually help available for you right now. Dr. Mark Levy is board certified in the treatment of sleep apnea, and he offers a custom-fitted oral appliance that effectively treats sleep apnea. I have been telling you about this for years. And maybe you've been snoring for years. Now's the time to get this fixed. Plus, most Medicare patients have little to no out-of-pocket costs for this treatment. So you need to stop putting it off. Don't ignore your snore. Get your sleep apnea treated by calling Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. Get the life back you deserve. Call Dr. Mark Levy today, 1-800-MORE-SLEEP, or visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Reason number 52 to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler. Only Diamonds Direct gives you a 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. Let us explain. If you buy a diamond at Diamonds Direct today and decide in the future you want to upgrade to a larger diamond, Diamonds Direct will give you 110% of your original purchase price toward the new stone. For example, let's say you bought her a $5,000 diamond last year, but now she wants to upgrade to a $6,000 diamond. Diamonds Direct will give you $5,500 toward the new one. That's 10% more than you paid the first time. Guaranteed appreciation. Whether that first diamond was $3,000 or $30,000, you get 10% more. Who else does this? And unlike other stores who claim to offer diamond upgrades, at Diamonds Direct, there's no fine print and no minimum purchase requirement. It's 10% more, period. Come and discover real value and buy with confidence. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Keep up to date on the summer games in Paris. Hear hourly reports on ESPN Columbus by listening to the Fans HD2 or by tuning into 1460 on the AM dial.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If you need a new roof but you're not sure you can afford it, no problem. Right now, Able Roof is offering no payments, no interest until 2026 for qualified buyers. Yep, that's the same Able Roof that's been voted the #1 roofing company in Columbus by Consumer Choice Awards 22 years in a row. Want more? Able Roof will give you up to $1,000 off a new roof, siding, or windows. This is a limited time offer, so call Able Roof today.
Call Able for the proof.
The battle for the belts is going down at UFC 304. Get to Twin Peaks for every second of knockout action from every angle. First up is the heavyweight championship between Aspinall and Blades, followed by the main event, Edwards against Muhammad. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Is arthritic joint pain keeping you from doing the things that you love? Bone-on-bone pain in your knee, arthritic pain like I was having in my knee, maybe your hip, your back, your shoulder. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Listen, there are exciting new cellular therapies that you can get lasting relief from. QC Kinetics is helping patients like you every day here in Columbus, led by Dr. Ray Tesner. I'm talking about cutting-edge treatments that accelerate your own body's healing properties, revitalizing your joints so you can move again. Listen, my dad was having knee pain. I was having knee pain. So we went over to QC Kinetics, and they were able to help us out. And 2 years out, I'm still feeling good. My dad can still move around. So learn how QC Kinetics can treat pain and enhance your joints and restore your mobility and give you long-term lasting relief with no downtime. So check them out. Go to 380-208-4544 or head to one of their offices in Dublin, Gehanna, or now the new one that's most recently opened in Grove City.
FC Series presents Premier League giants Manchester City versus Chelsea. Don't miss the chance to see these great teams live at Ohio Stadium. Get your tickets now at fcseries.com.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Distilled sports discussion served in light beer quantities. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Before we get to three things, Reeser, what do we have on the fan poll today?
The Daily Fan Poll asks, what is your favorite event to watch in the Summer Olympics? Your options are track and field, swimming, gymnastics, or other. 34% of you say track and field's your favorite. Swimming's 30%. 14% of you say gymnastics, while 21% say other. However, that other is not specified. So good job, top men.
I think I like winter more. And it's not like it's my favorite, but I like just know the most about it. I definitely watch the basketball probably the most, but I do like the swimming and the running. It's just so easy to take in swimming and like track and field. It's very straightforward. Is this guy going to cross the finish line before the other guy? So I can dive into that sport pretty easy.
Yeah. It's floor gymnastics is fire too.
Yeah.
I love.
I like the vault too.
The vault is crazy. Gymnastics is underrated. You realize how athletic those women and men are. It's cool. And then I'm secretly a fan of beach volleyball. You know, I won't not watch it.
Well, they got the doubles going, so it's a different look of volleyball that you would normally see too.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, now that you can stream every Olympic event on Peacock, if you have that service, check badminton out.
Want to see you, Peacock.
Yeah, it's nuts. Speaking of peacocks, like how they're able to hit that small shuttlecock and how fast it travels is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Time for three things.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Custom Air. Custom Air. Custom Solutions. Custom Comfort.
First one for me, I was talking about this over the last couple of weeks or so, but I finished the Friday Night Lights book. I always loved the movie growing up, and then when I was in high school, it just felt like a really good encapsulation of it. I think the show is a lot of fun. It's not so much about football, but it's a good show. But I'd never actually read the entire book, and to me, it feels like the most like effective capture of what high school football is like, but then it's just turned up to 11 with how crazy they are for high school football out there in Odessa and West Texas. Even like the epilogue was completely captivating to me. I wanted to know, okay, so what happened after the season for some of these players? But the biggest thing that I thought is they might still beat Dallas Carter when I'm reading it on the page. And that's the same thing I do when I watch the movie. Every single time I'm like, maybe Mike Winchell just gets in this time. No, they never do, but I guess I'm just an optimist in that sense. But great book.
Absolutely. Three things from me. Things to do before the season starts. I got three things. I mean, I got to take a family trip. I got to do a wife date night, and then I want to clean my garage out before it gets cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's changed so much pre-training camp, preseason, I'm running routes, I'm doing, lifting and body maintenance, getting stretched out, going to see this, dry needling here and getting chiropractic work here. Now I am prepping my lawn for the fall. I'm garage cleaning. I'm doing kids' activities. I'm getting in school shopping, family vacays, and summer foods before you don't want any more.
Yeah.
Right. You got to get the ribs in. You got to get the ice cream days in. And when the fall gets here and football gets here, it's done.
It's a good list.
We're about 24 and a half hours out from the opening ceremonies of the Paris Olympics, but United States men's rugby 7 squad advanced to the quarterfinals with a win over Uruguay today, and they will play Australia in that quarterfinal matchup. It's really interesting how they do a lot of Olympic action before the actual opening ceremonies of the thing.
Yeah, speaking of that, USA Soccer was playing in an Olympic counting game yesterday against France, and it was it just reminded me how very disappointing they can be. So I didn't know they were playing France yesterday, but then it showed up on my TV, and I was like, oh, I'll check that out. Well, I tuned in, and it was like 7:45 into 8 minutes of stoppage time, and I was like, oh, this game's about to end. And then I look at the score, and I was like, it's 3-0 France. And I was like, well, good thing I didn't watch it. I guess this is where we're at with Team USA Soccer.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I went to the MLS soccer game last night, All-Star game, and I'm just diving in. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. If we have a USA Soccer team, who are these MLS players? Well, that means I'm just... If somebody wants to tweet at me and explain where these roster makeups come from, I'll gladly sit down and learn.
Rothman and Ice are coming up from 12 to 3. Scotty Vegas will be in for the Iceman today. Really cool announcement from Ohio State. Archie Griffin, football's only 2-time Heisman Trophy winner, is going to be the eye daughter at the half of Ohio State's opening game on August 31st against Akron.
That is pretty cool. Slam the sousaphone on him and send him out there.
His Ohio State bucket list is crazy.
Just do everything that Archie's done. You'll have a full life.
He's dotting the I. This is crazy. He's just like, he just probably goes to Ohio State every year like, I haven't dotted the I yet. All right, Archie, it's done. Boom.
Last one for me, I saw USC quarterback Miller Moss yesterday talking on Big Ten Network, and he had a really nice, humble answer. And I was like, ooh, if he works out and he actually is like what he portrayed there, he might have something that we've never seen at USC, a star player who's humble. Because I feel like USC, and when I think back to all their star players, they are guys that know they are great. Exactly. And what's going to happen if they have a guy who's just like, I just go out there and play quarterback, but he's a dude?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you on that.
Reeser.
So speaking at Big Ten Media Days right now is Minnesota's PJ Fleck. And DeVier, you'll like this quote that's short, sweet, and to the point. He recognizes, and I'm quoting, "I'm not for everyone," end quote.
Rothman and I am all tongue-tied.
They're up next.
Rothman and Ice are coming up next. We will be back tomorrow. Tim May will be sitting across from me over there. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The only show where sports talk is eclipsed by food talk. Oh, nuts. Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan. This is a Fan Action Update.
The United States over-under gold medal number for the Olympic Games is 41.5. The country with the second highest total is China with 34.5. In men's basketball, Team USA is minus 400 to win the gold. Canada has the second best odds at 10-1. In women's basketball, Team USA is minus 1,100 to win the gold medal. See you in a few minutes on Rothman and Ice for your action update on Scotty Vegas.
Common Man and T-Bone here. Visit Hollywood Casino Columbus this summer for exciting live sports action. We got the biggest screens around, and ESPN Bet is live in Ohio.
Plus, Penn Play Rewards members can win up to $500 Penn Cash every week. Visit PennPlaySports.com/cover5 today and register for your chance to play and win.
Not a member? Get the Penn Play app today.
Hollywood Casino Columbus is your live sports headquarters.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
As a local family-owned and operated company, Newman Roofing takes great pride in providing great customer experience and quality product to every job they do. From the first phone call to the end of your project, they'll know who you are. Don't just get a roof, get a Newman roof. Call 614-NEW-ROOF, newmanroofing.com.
Come play Skyline 75th Coney Hunt game. Use your phone to search for virtual conies, tap to collect coins, and redeem them for exclusive Skyline merchandise at participating Skyline restaurants for a limited time. Details at skylinechili.com/Coney Hunt.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
This is Paul Keels for Nature Stone Flooring, a unique blend of natural stone and their specially formulated epoxy expertly installed over existing concrete. Nature Stone is the only flooring solution for garages, basements, and indoor spaces. Family owned and operated since 1989, no other company or product can match the features, benefits, and unconditional warranty of an authentic Nature Stone floor. Visit naturestone.com today and schedule your cost estimate. Act now and save up to 50% off any Nature Stone floor. It's not